And this is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the young guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video 115X, which is part of the data structure. But this one, remember I mentioned that I wanted to do a graphic structure. It's not going to show you because I'm going to do it in a adjacency list approach type. You're not going to see like a box with a little lines and stuff like that for now. Um, just to show you. And I want to also say that I've been working on another project which is going to probably come after this one, which is going to be the HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript. We'll work on like a big form, and of course PHP. We're going to do the sanitation, the evaluation before using JavaScript, and of course the bad word thing, and then we're going to do like advertising and stuff like that, and then we're going to do, of course I'm going to give you everything. Of course this is not a HTML5 CSS3 um, what is it, course, but the PHP stuff I'm going to do that. I'm going to give you that completely, using the CSRF, like that secret thing, the the hidden fields. We're going to do sanitation. We're going to do the validation again. We're going to use check boxes, maybe some other forms, type of forms. This is all for an address. It's going to be for an address data. I'm also going to give you what you put in if you want to create this table. I think that would be on the next video, not the next video, but in a few. I'm going to be working on it anyway because I already got a bunch of them lined up already to be released. But I will be working on this, and I'm going to give you the whole thing. I'm going to make the website look pretty, but it's going to be a form. It'll have the banner, and it'll have your little menu on top, that kind of thing. And that's about it. That's going to come up, man. And then you can take that and, hey, add your own things. I probably will have some like little things inside, like where you can put your the stuff that you want to, like descriptions and those kind of things. I'll have that, but it's mostly about the form because I just want to again go through the security thing again, the sanitation, the validation, those kind of things, and that's what I'm going to do. You'll like it, then you can apply that to any website that you do, and I'm going to give it to you all completely, okay? Anyway, so we're here. We want to mess around with the user-defined graphic structure. Like I mentioned before, we're going to be looking at it like as an what the hell? Adjacency. What did I spell that? Adjacency list, like that. Approach. We're going to do that. That's what approach. Believe me, everything I'm not gonna be typing a lot except for the example, but everything that I'm saying, because I am recording myself, all that stuff will be in a text file. What I have to do is download it and then change that text part to a PHP extension, and then we're gonna make sure that, of course, the wording stuff, make sure it's within these things. Look, the comments, okay, like this. Make sure it's all the description right here. Descript all, what is it? Text file description. Just put it in between that, right? Excuse me. Now, the adjacency list is like a graphic data structure representing a graph. So as a collection of unordered lists, where each list describes like the neighbors of a specific vertex. Now it is implemented as an array, right? Or a map or hash map, where each index the the vertex maps to a linked list. Remember that? And the array, and of course a dynamic list uh, that connects to the vertices. And the analogy is that think of a road map where cities are vertices and that the roads connecting them are edges. Now, social networks are also graphs. People are vertex, vertex, and what is it? Friendships are, we'll say, edges. So the key feature, unlike a tree, remember the tree has a. Do I have the picture of the tree? I should have kept it up for when I was. Yeah, that's okay. We don't have to, but you see what I mean. Where what was I saying? There are no restrictions, right, in how nodes are connected. So they are like formed like cycles, and a node can have any number of connections. Excuse me. And the types are like directed. Now, like edges have a like direction, like one-way street. Then you have an undirected, which is edges that are bi-directional, like two-way streets. And then you got your weighted edges have a cost or distant value, which is like the row length. Okay, so the structure is typically implemented in a code using like an adjacent list, like storing a list of neighbors for each vertex, I should say. Why I keep saying that? And also I'm clocked. That's why I sound a little weird. Excuse me. Or an adjacent matrix using a like a 2D array to show if the edge exists between the two vertex. I'm saying. So let's implement we want to implement a graph, right? Using a list. Now we will use like a class that manages a single associative array. It's called I'm gonna call let's see, it's called I'm gonna call it ADJ list. I'm gonna call that. Let's see. We'll do that right now. Let's just call it. Now I'm gonna represent a graph, right? Using the approach, the adjacent approach. And we're gonna say class. We're gonna say graph. And we're gonna go like this. And we're gonna say a private because we're gonna use private. We're gonna say $and list, and then we're gonna create. Oops. What is that? A empty array, right? And then we're gonna add the vertex to the graphs. Skip that. We'll say public, and that will be a function, right? Sorry, method. Since we're within a class, it's called method. We're gonna say add vertex, and then we're gonna say $vertex like that. And then we're gonna go like this, and then we're gonna say, I don't know what we're gonna do. How does that work? You know something? We're gonna let me see. Let's put it over here. So if we did like let's do an if compare statement, and we're gonna do if it's set, right? If it is set, so we're gonna say is set, and then we're gonna say this, then we're gonna say the list, then we're gonna say $vertex, This one belongs to that one, right? So let's put a little space. And it could be, wait a minute. Let's see if we can, let's see if we do this. Matter of fact, put it over here. Let's do this. And I'm gonna do this like that. So what I want to do is, wait a minute. So I want to, let's do the no. This way we get it out the way. We'll say like this. If it's not set, then we could have done the other thing and then do that later, but that's okay. We can just do it like that. Let me see. Make sure I'm spelling this whole thing right. Let's put these. Wait a minute. This one belongs to. We're gonna need another one right here. So this one belongs to. Let me see. That one, okay. That one belongs to that one. All right. So we're gonna say if not, we'll do that. We'll say this. Because this is a class for you. Oops. Then we're going to say add just this. And then we're going to say the vertex. Man, you know, I gotta. Wait a minute. I'm getting confused. Now I have to do this right. Let me see. Maybe this is not what I want to do. This is not what I want to do. I want to do. Let me see. Basically, where my head is not. Okay. Let's do this. We'll do this. Like that. And this. And of course, some. Like that. Let's see. DDB Bible. So if it's not set, if this thing is not set, right? Then verify the vertex, and then the vertex is initialized with an empty array of a neighbor, right? If this is empty array of the neighbor, then we're going to initialize it to this emptiness. Then you have this one. This one belongs to that one. So let's move the, you know something, this, let's put this, and then just go like this. Let's do this like that. All right. Where is public? That's part of that. Okay. So we're gonna have another one. Let's say a public function. I mean methods. We're gonna call it add edge. Then we're gonna say I don't know $v1, $v2, like for value. Then we're gonna say $undirected. Oops, wait a minute. That would be true about that. And then we go. Let's do this. I was thinking about this dog called a Kango. I thought about buying one, but it's expensive. Stuff is crazy. Let's move this out the way. We'll do this. All right. So let's go like this. So let's say I want to say $this like that, and I'm going to say add. Yeah, but it's going to call itself, of course, vertex, and Then we're gonna go like this. Wait a minute. Yep. Then we're gonna say V1. How about that? Sing the song. Okay. Let's copy this. Let's do this. All right, we're gonna say this would be 2 because we got this one and 2, right? And let's move this guy down a little bit, and let's say dollar this like that. I'm gonna do adjust this like that. Then I'm going to do a V1 like that, and then we're gonna say the empty, right? And then we're gonna say equals to dollar V2, and then what happens? We do the yeah. Let me see. If we did that, let me see. We're in here. Okay, let's do this. Let's say if on directed. Why so many people? I couldn't believe it, man. I went to check out eggs. Damn, now I'm eating a lot of them now because the prices went down. It's pretty good. I was like, yeah. Also gas. Interesting. Maybe we can do. I'll tell you what. Let's just take this one. Just stick that boy right here. And then we're gonna, of course, it's a reversal. So we're gonna say 2, and that will be 1. Maybe we should move this guy a little. Okay, right here. Just like that. What I wanted to do here is to, like we do this right here. It's like by passing this right here, this one right here. Like you'll see in a little bit, right? True. So you could you're correctly handle the symmetry, symmetry of a that's required for two-way row systems type things. Let's see, we'll do this, and then if you want to add the V1 to the V2 list of neighbors for undirected graphs, so that's what this would do. And of course, you want to print the entire adjacent list, right? So I guess it will be another one. That'll be that one. So let's bring guide this, and then we'll say public like that. Then you say function, and then you say print graph. Give me a second, guys. I'm gonna take a zip of my stuff here. Whoa. We got jury duty coming up, man. So you know how that is. Okay. So what we do, and then what we do is let's do some echo. Let's do a. Remember how we used it the last time? We went like this, and we say graph like that. We're doing the adjacency. I think that's how it's spelled. And then you go like this, and you say, let's jump a line about that. Let's do 2 of them. Like that. And then, wait a minute. Yeah, that would do it. Let's do the for each. So we're going to do the for each loop. Because we want to loop through all of them so we can print them out, right? So we're gonna say, oops, daisy. This is how it's done. Then you're gonna put in, what is it? This, and then you go down here. All right. In here, what I want to do is I want to say like this. We want this because this happens to be the class of this, and this one. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say as dollar vertex. Excuse me. And then you go like this and say, hey neighbor, do you have any sugar? Nah. Like on TV. Let's put a little space here. Okay. How about we do, let's echo, let's say vertex. Let's put a little 2 stars there. And then we're going to say dollar vertex. Okay. Like that. Then we put 2 more stars. Is connected to, and then we'll do this, little space there. Let's put a little dot here. And remember, we're going to implode, right? Implode this because we want to add the commas, right? So we're going to do this equals to this, and that will be neighbor dollar. Let's put a little space there. Dollar doesn't mean anything. It's just like having it more neighbors like that. Then you're gonna say like that. Wait a minute. I must have been hitting the wrong thing for me to get that. Screw that one up. Alright. Let me see. Does it do anything? Of course not, because it's just sitting there waiting. I don't know. Let me see. First of all, I wanna, this is private, this is public. And then the edge is gonna call the vertex, which is above. Then it's gonna check out if it's set. If it's not set, then do this instead. Okay, that's cool. And then it does this, brings the graphs. I bet you I messed this up. It always happens to me. Nope, that's cool. Of course, because it's just sitting there. How about if we let's do the usage, right? Let's do this like this. So we'll say like that. Who cares, right? I'm gonna add the vertices, like the cities, right? I'm gonna add the cities. So I'll say add cities, and then we'll do something like dollar city graph, and then we're gonna say add the vertex, and we're gonna do like New York. New York. If you make it in New York, you make it anywhere. So they say, oops, daisy. And I know they say that because I'm from New York. There you have it. 2, 3, and 4. On these, I want to do, let's see, we do Chicago. What a town. Chicago. Yeah, on this one, I just want to do Miami. Never been. I think when I was a young man, when we were kids, went to Miami. Parents took us there. We actually moved there. And then before you know it, I'm back up there in New York. I don't know. I guess opportunity time didn't happen for my stepfather. Yeah, now I'm going to do undirected edges, which would be the roads. How about we just say add roads. You know, like from New York to Chicago, Chicago to Miami, those kind of things. And then let's move this up a bit. And then we'll say, let's take this, right? And then we're going to say, so add edge. Let's see, this is the add edge. Then this one is, okay, cool. Then what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, from New York, City, comma, to Chicago, Chicago. Let's do, let's say we do from Chicago. You see where I'm going with this? Chicago to Denver. Then you want to do New York City to Miami. Oh, Miami, man, I got some chops I want to eat. And then what we're going to do, now that we do this, not doing anything, so what we do is we go like this and then say city graph, like that, and then we're going to say print graph. Of course you will have to do, okay, before we do all this, I gotta see what I'm doing here. So we go here, right? We do the thing, what is that, the private situation, right? And then make it an array. Then we create a public method, right? We call it one. And then within here, we're going to say allow one. This will allow the this will allow like the, how about right here? We'll say allows for O1 lookup time to check if a city already exists. So we do this, we check out, oh my god, oh my darling, oh my darling. Okay. I want to say if it's not set, wait a minute, I already see this failing right here. Boom. Thank you guys. And then of course we will add the edges, which is what? The roads. You know, the connection between the two cities. And then of course the $undirected equals to true means that the connection goes both ways. But let me see, where are we? If it's not, then it's only. Alright, so let's see. So we do the public. Where is it? This moves that over. Okay, so this ensures that it's both vertices exist, both cities exist. And then of course we want to add the 2 to the 1. That's the list of neighbors. And then you want to, let me see. I'm edge. Something's not, it's fishy here. Beady, 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 boo. Sing the song that make you cry. Wait a minute. Okay, I could do that. Yeah, I guess I could do that. But why not? Okay. Ugh. Alright. I could do by bypassing the dollar undirected and making it into a true. That's what it would be, true right here. If it's this, that means true. You get it? How you notice how it's like if and then you got a variable name? That means true. If you don't, you just, if it's not true, you just put one of those exclamation mark like the way you see here. Or you can say else and put the untrue thing there like the false. But right now, is if it's true, right, then you bypassing this. So you will have to correctly handle the symmetry between the two roads. So if I want like that, I'm adding that 1 to the 2 of undirected graph. That makes kind of sense. Now if I wanted to print this entire adjacent list, then I will have, let me see, I'll say that I want to echo this thing, and then I want to say for each of these, this adjacent list as a $vec equals to that. That's the key in the value, and that would be neighbors. Okay, and then of course I'm going to say echo vertex is connected to my. We're going to employ this because we want the we're going to add that comma, right? We're going to add that comma, and then what happens? Already, I'm already failing. Let me get back a little bit over here. Let me adjust myself. Oof. Can somebody tell me why this will not work? Eddie? Tom? Anyone? One? How about you guys out there? Anyone? Put in the comments below. Because we instantiated the object, right? Because this is the actual graph. And then, which is what is that? The class. And then over here we're adding stuff to it, but we're not really doing anything. We have to call it. This will not work. So what we do? What do? We add this city graph. Andy, you were correct. Like that. You notice that we don't have a construct because I'm not adding anything into it because I'm doing it in the outside. I'm not adding anything in here for us to, with a construct you need it. We're just doing it like this. Then what happens is we do the cities and then we do the roads. And then we'll print this guy out. And let's see what it looks like. Did you see how slow that was? Alright, let's see. There you go. Because now in New York is connected to Chicago, Miami. Something went wrong here. What did I do? What mistake did I do? Singing the song. Singing the song. Singing the song. That was Spider-Man, right? Oh, wait a minute. If I was to New York, Chicago, wait a minute. No wonder. Ah, man, that's gonna give me. I'm gonna have to. Then you got Miami. I looked at it, didn't find it. So let's see. See if it'll fix it up. Can't now because now it's in memory. Oh, there he goes. Fixed it, guys. You see it? You saw what I did? Look, Chicago, Miami, New York to Denver, and of course Miami to New York. And something. Wait a minute. You know, the results should have been. Let me see. If I'm looking at this correctly, Chicago. Yeah. Okay, it's cool. Let's go Miami to New York. Okay, oh yeah. And I'm looking at Denver. Yes. Wow. So the takeaway here would be, if I was to, let me see something. What is your name? Babadoo. If I was to, let's see, this will be, where are we? We did this, we did this, that's kind of correct. Just bear with me, guys. I'm going to see if there was other things that I could do. Oops, a daisy. And then you got, of course, you insure, you got the chew. Of course, you got your, where is it? Sir. This, right here. Okay, so if I wanted to, what would happen if I added, I don't know, like an extra one? What would be a good test? Let's say if I was to add another one of this, it'll mess up everything. Let me see. Let's go over here. Let's add this, right? I want to see what I'm doing here. Okay, let's see. Oh, see? New York, Denver. I just created some kind of collision. No good. So basically, even though I was in the right track, it needed to do something else. This one here, I could have just added, let me see. I could say if not in, remember this one, in array. Let's say if it's not v2 and dollar this, and that will be v, not v, the list, and then we say v dollar v1, and that will be comma chameleon. Let me see. Remember that one? That was like the club. What is it called? The culture club? I don't know. Alright, let me see. If I did this, then that will make it much better because I wouldn't have to worry about these type of things. See this? This is terrible because we're connecting to this to go to here, to go to there. I'm just messed this whole thing up. This thing is no good. This thing is basically no good. So what I could do, how do I fix that? Let's leave it in there and see if it does something. And then there you go. Did it do it? Yeah. Got to remember Miami to New York. Denver to do. Let me see what I can do here. Where is that thing? Let's see. Get rid of that. I'm gonna say less. And ooh. So if it did that. So then that's good. That's good. That means we'll catch it right away. So that's good. That's good. That means we will catch it right away because it's going through this process. Where are we? No, not this. This one is set. We want to do perfect. That's in case that happens. And right there, we're going to just add another thing too. We're going to say if a song if it's not in an array, that will be $2, and then this adjacent list, and that will be $1, and then of course here will be this. Don't do that. It's the door again. V2. And of course that. Yeah, that will be good. That's it. And it tells you right away there's a problem right there. So if I took that out, let's say, kept it clean. There you go. Why does it take so long? See? See how clean that is? If I would have added a separate one, like the same one, you'll see it double like that. This is how you catch your problem. So you should always have this. If you didn't have this, it would have kept it going. That looks good. I guess the takeaway would be to just be careful, man. Just be careful what you do, because the vertice is that's like the individual data points in a node, right? So when you store as a key in the add list. Where is it? In the add list, right? That is like this. Remember, this is like an associated array, right? Hash map associated array. And then the edges, right, is the connections between the two cities. And so when you store as a value arrays of a neighboring city, the associated is created with the associate, and it is connected associatedly with each key. So now the flexibility is that easy model different relationship like roles, social networks, achieving, like you can achieve by controlling the add edge logic. Why you think the PHP code is efficient? Because it's using an associated array, like using the sitemap allows for the O1. See, when you use this one, did I write it down by any chance? Yeah, when you use this, it's allowing for O1. That's why you're checking for that. And plus, it's like dynamic scaling, right? So you add the the add vertex method ensures that the graphic grows dynamically, so you don't need to define the size of the map up front. And of course, by directional logic, by passing the undirected true, where are we? By doing this right here, right, you're correctly handling the symmetry required for two-way row systems. So I guess the pro tip for the implementation of that is to always, what is it? Like, because you know what? When you were to use this for a massive data set, like a real social network, you might want to prevent duplicate edges, which is why we did this. Because if it's there, you do this. We could even say else if and do something else, you know what I mean? We could do that. So you need to take care of the, what is that, the duplicate um, roads or cities, and then so if you call the city add graph twice, like I mentioned before, like over here, over here, remember how we did that before? If you did that twice, Chicago will appear twice in New York's neighbor list, and you can easily fix that by what? By adding this. You do the two, and then this, and the adjacency is because it's V1. Then if it's there, just do this. Right. It's not a bad thing for duplicate stuff, but I would have loved to make this into more like a graph with a box and lines, and using, this is just using the list with the JSON list. But I guess to do the graph, I will have to use an object to take this information and make it into a, like a little square box with different. Yeah, I guess I could do. I think I did that one time, right? I showed you how to use. I forgot what it was. Hey, put it in the comments below if you can remember what it was that I was using to give you graphics. Remember, I put these two. What was that? We'll have to go visit. Anyway, so we're here, and now on the next video, I'm gonna be the excuse me. In the next video, we're gonna be doing some other things, and then no, actually, this is the last one for the data structure, man, because I do want to hit what is it? The old notation a little bit more, but I'm not gonna do it now. I'm gonna give it a break because I'm gonna see if I can make it more not basic but more clear. And so I want to do that HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, PHP form that I want to do, and I want to show a nice, data, not a data, yeah, and how to create a database. I'm going to put those instructions in there too. So remember, everything we talked about now, I'm going to have it in the text files, and then of course I'm going to put it in the description below. And this is just a way for you to think of what to look at. I mean, this is kind of like, it's kind of stupid. I get it. And then how do we transfer that into a real graph? That would be something else that you have to remember, because we have to use objects to do that, like to make a picture. Like this is just using a list, so you can see right away what's connecting. And then we will do, so on the next one after this X, I said on 115, we're going to go to 116, and that was going to have that whole full-blown thing. I'm going to have the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and of course PHP. The whole resource will be there, and then text I like to do is copy and send it into your server and test it out, and you see what I mean. As long as you're allowed to create a table or database, your host will let you know that anyway. But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have that whole thing set up. Simple thing, right? So this is what is that? A home page. We'll have the menu. Same thing that we showed before, but I just want to make it more clear. Just concentrate on just that. So that way, when you don't have to go back and say, man, this one had too many things, this and that. I bought a color. Too many this, too many that, too many what is that version? Well, this time I'm going to give it to you all in one shot. Just follow that one, and then you'll be all right. validation, sanitizing. That's what we'll have connected. It's gonna the form will submit to PHP, and then it'll do that for you. Plus, it will use JavaScript to do that validation too. All right, and sanitation. Thank you very much. We reach the end, and until next time, a good night.